All right, guys, so made it back quick. We're going to talk about macros. All right, so what are your macros? I think I should probably wait till people get in here, shouldn't I? Yay, everyone's coming back, good. All right, I can't tell if no one's coming back or if it's just taking a second. So we're just gonna go ahead and continue, they can catch up. All right, proteins, carbs, and fats are your macros. They're going to be your building blocks of your calories. All right, so if you have anything with calories, my bet is that it's going to have proteins, carbs, and fats in it. We also have this little guy down here, fiber. It's kind of important. He helps you out a little bit. All right, so protein. How many calories are in 1 gram of protein? You have 4. 4 calories. This is important. Same with carbs. Is 4 calories. This guy, fat, is 9 calories. All right, so that's a big deal. Fat, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. That's why oils and butters and peanut butters and all that good stuff have tons of calories in them. Okay? So, to figure out your macros, we are going to do a few things. We're going to start with your protein, okay? So protein number 1. And then we're going to move to your fat, and then we'll come back and total it out with your carbs. So moving with your protein first, we're going to do a different amount depending on the person. So if you're gaining weight, it's going to be different amounts than if you're losing weight. If you're losing weight or cutting, then you're going to want to preserve muscle. Body fat, or not body fat, protein helps to do that a little bit along with carbs. So you're going to want between 1 to 1.4 grams of protein per pound to cut, okay? 1 to 1.4. To gain muscle, you're looking at 0.8 to like 1 or 1.2, probably 1.2. For gaining mass, all right? So I'm cutting, so we'll talk cutting. So I'll take my body weight times, I'm gonna go with 1.2. The reason for this is because I like higher carbs and I'm also not crazy lean, okay? So, let me check this real quick. All right, so what did I get whenever I did this? I think I figured it all out earlier. Yes, so my body weight 178 times 1.2, so that ends up giving me 213.6, I think it was 0.6, yep, grams of protein. Okay, so we take that, multiply it by 4, 213.6 grams of protein times 4 equals 4, because that's how many calories, equals 854.4, yep, calories, okay? So these are our big numbers. So now I have my grams and my calories figured out. So now it's time to figure out my fat. All right, so we talked about with your protein, you're gonna wanna have somewhere between 1 to 1.4 grams of protein per pound of body weight. All right, that's for cutting. For fat, you're gonna want 15 to 25% of your total calories to be from fat. Okay, so we're going from body weight to calories. I'm going to go with 20% of my calories from fat. You could go a little bit lower. Women need to keep theirs a little bit higher because of different processes and hormones. We don't want to mess up your body by stripping all the fat out of it. Guys need fat too. I mean, doing a no-fat diet is a bad thing. You're just going to wreck your hormones, okay? So we don't want to take all the fat out. Keep that in mind. We want fat. Fat's good. As long as you're eating good fat. McDonald's is not good fat. Almonds, coconut, oil, all that stuff, that's good fat. That's the fats we want. All right, so good fats, we're going to do 2% or 20%. So I'm going to take my total calories after I subtracted all my 500 for my cut. And what was that? 2,065, I think. 65 times 0.2 for 20. And I end up with, I had it different down here on my calories. So it'll be a little bit off compared to what I was writing earlier because I wrote it differently. But it's going to be about 410. We'll say 410, 51. Okay? So I have my calories, 410 calories, and I'm going to divide that by 9 because there's 9 calories per gram. And that gives me my grams, which is 45 grams of fat. So now I have my protein figured out, my fat figured out. It's time for the carbs. So what I can do here is I can take these important numbers and figure it out. I'll use the calories and I can multiply them, I can add them up, and that gives me, what do I end up with here? Well, I did it like this. So I had for carbs equal 854.4 plus 410.51 minus 2065. I'm going to redo this one because I didn't do it right earlier. All right. 854.4 plus 410.51 minus 2065. So that gives me 800.09 calories. Okay, that's what's left over. That's how many I can put towards my carbs. So I take that number and I divide it by 4. Okay, and that gives me 200 grams of carbs. Okay, so my carbs and my proteins are really close. So I have 200 grams equaling 800 calories here. So now I have all my macros figured out. I need 213 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 45 grams of fat. All right? Yay, macros. So we'll use these, we'll follow them. They are not magic. Hitting your macros is not going to magically make you melt away, all right? Or your body fat melt away. It's just a tool that we are going to use. Macros can change as well. So you can bring things up and down. So on my crazy heavy days that I was talking about earlier, I ended up with, what was it? I can't even remember. Like 400 extra calories. All right, so that I would end up with another 100 grams of carbs, most likely. And maybe bump my fat up a little bit. So usually your protein is going to stay the same. This one is constant, okay? Your protein, constant. This one always locked in. All right, so I will always be here. But the changing factors are these guys. Carbs and fats, they can change quite a bit. The reasons for this are depending on how you feel with your workouts. If you're tired, then maybe you should take your fats down and bring your carbs up if you're feeling a little bit drained, okay? And at the beginning, you can pull a little bit from your proteins, and that would come into thinking about your multiplying. So I did my 1.2. Maybe you go closer to 1 if you want a little bit more carbs. So these can alternate. Also, if you're dieting or you're eating, I'm not going to call it dieting, it's eating is what you're doing. So you're eating your food and you find out, oh snap, my fat is through the roof. So what do? You cut your carbs down. Bring the carbs down and it counterbalances your fat. It'll hit your calories because that's number one. That is the key, okay? Whenever it comes down to diet, I don't know what color comes up best, but whenever it comes down to your diet, you have a pyramid, okay? So your calories first, number one, okay? Calories first, then macros, okay? And then you have your micros, and then you have your timing, and then you have supplements. All right, so you see this? This is a huge money-making industry. I'm okay with that. That's fine. They can make their money, and it's no big deal. A lot of supplements help people. I do fish oils. Fish oils are great. I know that I have people that take joint formulas that help their shoulders and stuff like that. So take supplements. That's totally okay, but realize what they're there for. If all this is perfect, then they're really going to help. If this is a bag of crap, then this isn't going to do anything. A supplement isn't going to make up for horrible calorie intake, okay? So calories first, then worry about your macros, then your micros, your vitamins and minerals, then the meal timing, such as your anabolic window and all that stuff, eating after your workout, and then supplements, okay? Alrighty, getting rid of all this good stuff. Any questions on moving between carbs and fats, or how to get this set up, anything like that? Questions. Trying to think of some more stuff. I don't see any questions at the moment. Okay. If you guys think of anything, feel free to yell it out on there. I can see it. Don't be scared. All right. Talking about eating out. Here's another one. Hold on. Oh man, there's the 3 principles. So I had this all written down earlier for my talk. I'm just trying to bring a lot of it back out and tell everyone that wasn't there what's going on. The 3 big factors, though, to a diet plan is being accurate, but being flexible and adhering. I think that's the 3rd one, is adherence. Okay. But if you're not flexible enough, then you can't stick to it. Oh, we got a question. Talk about how to manipulate your macros to gain muscle or lose fat. Okay, so the calories are going to be the big part that affects your muscle gain or loss, and then your, or not muscle loss, but fat loss. But like we were talking about earlier, the 0.8 to 1.2 would be more for, like for your protein, would be more for gaining, and that way your carbs can be higher. So when you're gaining, you want more carbs so you can put on more muscle mass, and it gives you a lot more energy. You can lift harder and heavier in the gym. The protein will rebuild your muscles, but your carbs are what's really helping you to break them down and to give your body energy to replenish and rebuild. So that's in that part. You also need carbs to have hard workouts whenever you're cutting, but you want a little bit more protein in there as well, so that you can help maintain your muscle mass that you have. You don't want to lose your muscle mass because they're your little engines that help you burn those extra little bits of calories. Are they going to make an insane difference? No, but they definitely help. So whenever we're talking about carb cycling, which might be something that you're trying to hit on here, I kind of showed you guys in my week-long pyramid there. I guess we'll get into that. So that'll be a good thing to hit on. So we had our week here where I drew it out. We had our days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then you can have multiple different calorie ranges depending on if you're doing cycle or not, like carb cycling. So the one where I had where it was like 1900, 2400, 19, 19, 19, 19, 24, that was a carb cycle. It could be a little bit different as well. The reason why we're doing this is to give you a little bit more energy and allow you to work out harder on those days, and then keep your calories low on other days as well. But in the end, you're still hitting a total amount of calories, which was 14,000 something is what I was going for in total for the whole week. So the calories are ultimately what is going to do the work for losing the weight. The carb cycling can help whenever you're not eating as much to give you boosts of energy, help hit harder workouts to lose more calories, like burn more calories because you're working out harder on those days. So say if every day you ate 2,000 calories, you're going to have the same amount of energy. But if you ate a little less calories You wouldn't really notice it too much, about the same energy, but then you'd have huge energy spikes, be able to work out a lot harder on those days with the more calories. So that's why we want those, because then that leads to calorie burns. How you can get deficits is between cardio and restricting calories. So cardio, say you're doing cardio, a good place to start, and this isn't my stuff, this is just what I've heard, is 400 calories of cardio. That is what some people will do. So you deduct 400 calories. So with my restriction from my original, whatever it was, 2,556, we'll say it was, and it was like 64. Anyway, from this, I was taking away 500 calories. Well, this was saying that this was 500 calories from food, all right? But I can also get this by doing hold on. Too many thoughts going. Bam. All right, so it was equaling that many calories. So if I have my deficits throughout my week, and then I also have a 400 calorie deficit from cardio, that's going to make a big difference, because then I'm taking whatever that is, 75 or whatever calories from every day, and I can add it back in food, or I just don't have to go, initially don't have to go so low. In other words, I don't have to go so low. So it would look like, instead of before, it'd be like 1975, on these. Okay, so that's another way to do it whenever you look at your cardio. And that's just to hit your, whatever your weekly is of the 14 for whatever it was. Okay. Does that make sense? Because it's all about this end number. And we want to be careful with it. We don't want to go too crazy, because we don't want to end up dropping it super low where you're hitting stunting levels of calories. The key is, something that I didn't talk about today, is the key is we want your calories to be as high as possible. Always. We always want your calories to be high as possible. Gotcha. So calories high as possible. And that sounds weird. Everyone's like, no, we want calories to be low. Well, what we want to do is we want to figure out how we can get these calories as high as possible for our maintenance, okay? Because we want to be able to eat a lot of food and keep our engine rocking and rolling, instead of starting way down low and trying to cut from nothing, It's really hard to cut calories whenever your normal diet is like 900 calories, okay? So it's impossible. 500 calories from 900 calories, you just quit eating, it's not gonna work. All right, and to give you an example, some of these bodybuilders and athletes are eating like 3,000 calories on a cut. They're losing weight on 3,000 calories, okay? If that helps you think about it differently. You can lose weight eating a lot of calories. You don't have to starve yourself to lose weight, okay? So if you're down at 1,000 calories a day and you're starving yourself, your metabolism is going to counteract that to survive, because your body wants to preserve itself, wants to preserve body fat, so it's going to slow down. You're going to feel like crap. You're going to be like, man, I need 1 million cups of coffee every day, like no energy, I don't understand, I'm starving to death, and I'm pissed off, and I hate the world. All right, so we don't want that. So make sure you guys eat. It is important. Alrighty. Going back to how to eat out. It's easy. Tell them that you don't want things on your food. What is our biggest problem with food, calories-wise? Is fat. So we talked about that earlier, 9 calories per gram of fat. So if we take the fat off of all the food that they're making you, and it's just in the food, it's going to be a lot better. So say you're getting a steak. Well, with that steak, they're going to take it, and they're going to cook it up in a pan, and they're going to cover it in butter, and then they're going to give you, oh, I want steak and veggies. So they're going to give you broccoli that's been covered in salt and butter because it tastes good. Same thing with your steak, salt and butter, because it tastes good. So what you have to tell them is, I don't want salt or butter add it into my food. And if they have a problem with it, be like, well, I have high blood pressure and my doctor says I can't. No one wants to get sued. It's less work for them anyways, so they'll do it. All right, so make sure that you guys are telling them that. Just ask for it. It's no big deal. Please leave the salt and butter off my food. That's one great way to do it. Make sure that you skip out on carbs, as in pastas, because pasta sources are a lot harder to measure. So if you get a big bowl of pasta, they're not going to know how much they put into stuff. They just kind of throw it in there and go. Whenever you're cooking a steak, you have a steak, you grill it, it's done. Whenever you're cooking pasta, you get water, you put oil in there, you put salt in there, you put your pasta in there. Same thing with your sauces. You throw a bunch of stuff in there. Okay? So those aren't going to be measured out. Leaving the butter off of a steak is a lot easier than measuring out everything for a cook. And if they put a whole bunch, well, say they poured a little bit too long with olive oil, then you end up with a whole bunch of extra calories from olive oil. 2 tablespoons is like 200 calories from all the fat. All right? So keep that in mind. Think simple whenever you eat out. Try and keep it minimal. 1 to 2 times a week, something like that. Some people have really busy jobs where they have to eat out all the time. It's okay. Just keep that in mind. Portion control, go low calorie options, leave off the fat or the salt and the butter, the fat stuff. Alcohol is another problem. Alcohol is something that is lacking nutrition and high in calories. 1 gram of alcohol is 7 calories. So, what's that mean? 1 shot, 1 ounce is 7. Gonna have. Oh man, I need to look that up because that's not correct. But serving sizes are 1 ounce for liquor. I think it's 5 ounces of wine, and then 12-ounce beer to help you guys out. But you're wanting like 1 or 2 drinks of alcohol. Hard liquor is going to be a little bit better because it doesn't have all the sugars added in like a wine or beer or mixed drink would. So hard liquor just straight or with water is usually going to be the better bet. Alcohol has a lot of different effects on your body, messing with the way you metabolize things. So just being like, oh, I'll just get my calories from alcohol is not going to work either. It does a lot more than just add calories. I need to look into the grams to give you calories. But if you're drinking something that's straight alcohol, a shot is going to be like 70 calories. Okay, so it's like 10 grams or whatever. All right. Trying to think here. Any questions? Anyone have anything for me? Anything they want to ask? I'll look on here real fast, see if I had anything. Oh, I was talking about fiber. I didn't talk about fiber. Fiber, to figure that out, you're going to want 10 to 15 grams per 1,000 calories. So if you have a 2,000 calorie diet, 30 grams of fiber, that's a good minimum. All right, or 20 grams of fiber, that's a good minimum. Another way to do it is 20% of your total grams of carbs. So if you have 300 grams of carbs, you're going to have 60 grams of fiber, okay? So that one's going to be a little bit better for you, the 20% of your carbs. Unless you're never eating carbs, then it won't work too well. Then do your calories. Make sure you guys are tracking your food. Have the tools to track your food. Get a food scale. All right, food scales are super important because measuring cups don't always work. A cup of broccoli will measure differently than a cup of flour, for instance, because of how it's chopped up. So weigh it out. It's more accurate that way. It's a little bit better. Talking about weigh-ins to track your weight. So what we'd want to do is we would do it weekly. So you have days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is what I'm going to have all my clients doing. So they're going to weigh every day. So day 1, weigh 178. Day 2, 180. Day 3, 170. 178 again. And let's say day 4, 176. Day 5, 176. Back up, 177. Back down, 175. All right, and then you're going to average it all out, okay? I'm not going to do the math, but I have a feeling it's going to be around 177. All right, we'll say that's what it is. So that means that you lost a pound in that week, which is great. So you did a whole week long tracking of your body or of your weight to see what you actually weighed, because you can go up or down up to 5 pounds in a day from day to day, okay, depending on what you're eating. So make sure you do this. Do it, totals out. And so if you do that for, 4 times in a row, 4 weeks, you get a month, and then you can see actually how much you lost in a month. Track your body weight like that. Do it in the morning. Do it after you use the bathroom, and do it before you eat anything. And the less clothes, the better. All right, so if you're naked, that's the best bet, because my guess is that being naked today is going to be exactly the same as being naked tomorrow. But wearing this today compared to being naked tomorrow will make a difference. All right, so keep that consistent. All righty. All right, I don't think of any more questions. I don't have anything. Do you guys have anything? Any questions? Looking. Nope. If you guys have questions, send me messages on Facebook, text me, email me. If you haven't already, follow me on Snapchat. I do little chunks of information like this on Snapchat. Also, I'm on Periscope. Periscope isn't used as often, but you can follow me on there. I'll do little rant and raves every once in a while on Periscope. They're not so PG like today. I get kind of brutal sometimes, so feel free to stop by that if you're curious. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys are still crushing your goals. This is the end of month 1, and I think I completed my at least 2 videos per week. I know on average I did, because I did like all that I would need to do in that first week. So anyway, I'm going to keep them rocking and rolling if you guys keep watching. So I'll talk to you guys later. Don't forget to send me your questions. Okay, bye.